Give information 2,000 words. India grow day by day in GDP, with geopolitical tension. How India leads in other countries. How India's city development growth. Indian people prosperity, etc. India's growth story in 2025 continues to be one of resilience, expansion, and global leadership amid geopolitical complexities. It remains the fastest-growing major economy and is increasingly shaping the global order through its diplomatic agility, urban modernization, and rising citizen prosperity. The following comprehensive analysis, spanning economic performance, geopolitical strategy, urban transformation, and societal progress, reflects how India is advancing day by day in its pursuit of holistic national development. India's economic growth momentum. India's economy in 2025 maintains a robust pace of expansion, driven by strong domestic consumption, infrastructure investments, and industrial upgrades. Recent data show that India's GDP grew 7.8% year-on-year in Q2 2025, outperforming expectations and marking the fastest pace in 5 quarters. The Reserve Bank of India projects a full-year growth rate of 6.8% for FY 2025-26, with key contributions from manufacturing, services, and construction. According to Deloitte and RBI forecasts, India's real GDP growth is projected between 6.7% and 6.9%, maintaining its position as the world's fastest-growing major economy. The resilience comes amid global headwinds, including tariff tensions with the US and energy supply uncertainties. Domestic reforms, such as the Goods and Services Tax, GST, streamlining and infrastructure expansion through the National Infrastructure Pipeline, NIP, have enhanced economic productivity and job creation. From a macroeconomic view, India's growth rests on 4 critical pillars. Private consumption, slowing 7% annually in 2025, supported by rising household incomes and rural demand recovery. Fixed capital formation, 7.8%, reflecting investment in factories, public transport, and housing. Strong fiscal management. The central and state governments have prioritized infrastructure and digital services. Services sector recovery, driven by IT exports, tourism, and financial technology. The World Bank recognizes India as holding a critical opportunity to drive resilient development, emphasizing that sustained investment in cities and clean energy will underpin its long-term economic stability. Geopolitical landscape and strategic leadership. Amid shifting global alliances, India's foreign policy underscores strategic autonomy, a stance that allows flexibility in maintaining partnerships with diverse power centers. India simultaneously engages with the United States, Russia, and China, while participating actively in BRICS, the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, Quad, and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO. This multi-alignment strategy enables India to advance national interests without becoming entangled in exclusive blocs. The Modi administration continues to emphasize self-reliant defense modernization, energy diversification, and digital sovereignty as pillars of national security. Even as President Donald Trump's second term adds volatility to US foreign policy, India's cautious engagement, balancing between cooperation and autonomy, has proven effective. India defends its regional interests firmly, exemplified by its stance during 2025's India-Pakistan border skirmishes, where New Delhi rejected external mediation while reaffirming its strategic independence. Globally, India's appeal has expanded through its Global South diplomacy, emphasizing equitable access to technology, trade, and vaccines. The Bharat's Global Footprint Report underscores India's rising presence in Africa, Latin America, and East Asia, where its infrastructure, IT, and renewable energy partnerships symbolize its leadership as a development partner. Urban transformation and smart city revolution. India's urban evolution is one of the most dramatic socio-economic shifts of the 21st century. The The nation's cities, once overcrowded hubs, are transforming into innovation-driven ecosystems powered by sustainable infrastructure and digital governance. By 2036, urban residents are projected to constitute 40% of India's population, 600 million people, compared to 31% in 2011. Urban centers already generate 63% of national GDP, a figure expected to reach 75% by 2030, showing their mammoth role in national growth. 9. Key drivers of urban growth include rural to urban migration, fueled by employment opportunities in manufacturing and services. Government initiatives, such as the Smart Cities Mission, over 8,000 projects, Amrut 2.0, and PMAY Urban, which aim to modernize infrastructure, reduce slum density, and promote sustainable mobility. Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities rise. Cities like Surat, Indore, Coimbatore, and Lucknow are emerging as regional economic anchors, decentralizing development beyond Delhi, Mumbai, and Bengaluru. According to KPMG's Urban Development Insights, government budgetary allocations for green housing, metro expansion, and 5G-linked smart grids are reshaping cityscapes. 10. The World Bank's 2025 report stresses that India has a critical window to integrate climate resilience into city planning to safeguard growth against floods and heat waves. Technological and industrial advancements. India's embrace of digitization has made it a global hub of technology and innovation. The Digital India 2.0 program, with its emphasis on artificial intelligence, blockchain, and cloud computing, is revolutionizing public services and startups. Over 100,000 registered startups now operate in India, making it the third largest startup ecosystem globally, after the US and China. 11. The Make in India 2.0 and Production-Linked Incentive (PLI) schemes have significantly boosted domestic manufacturing in electronics, semiconductors, renewable energy, and defense technologies. This has not only created jobs, but also reduced import dependency. India's clean energy transition is also vital. By 2030, the country aims for 500 GWh of renewable energy capacity, positioning itself as a leader in sustainable growth and the global climate agenda. This industrial ecological balance is central to India's 2025 economic narrative. Prosperity and the Indian middle class. India's growing prosperity is reflected in the expansion of its middle class, an essential driver of consumption and social change. The middle class, now representing 31% of the population, is projected to reach 38% by 2031, and a majority, 60% by 2047. Rising incomes and job diversification have lifted millions out of poverty. By 2031, only 6% of households are expected to be categorized as destitute, down from 15% today. 12. Middle-class households are propelling India's shift toward a consumption-led economy. By 2030-31, middle-class and rich households will account for 56% of all consumption, translating to 5.2 trillion in total spending. 12. This transformation is reshaping markets, travel, education, and housing. However, the 2025 Deccan Herald report notes that this new middle class faces vulnerabilities due to digital dependence and inflation shocks, necessitating greater financial literacy and social safety nets. Despite these risks, India's median income continues to rise, and digital inclusion remains robust through schemes such as Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile, JAM integration, and UPI-based financial networks. Infrastructure and connectivity revolution. India's pursuit of world-class infrastructure has accelerated through record investments. Initiatives like the Gati Shakti Master Plan and Bharatmala aim to integrate highways, ports, railways, and airports through digital mapping. These projects are expected to reduce logistics costs from 14% to below 8% of GDP by 2030. 5. Railway modernization. Increased reliance on electric buses and the expansion of mass rapid transit systems have improved urban mobility. The dedicated freight corridors have enhanced industrial efficiency, while rural electrification and housing schemes continue to uplift millions. Furthermore, India is building smart industrial corridors connecting cities like Delhi, Mumbai, and Chennai, Bengaluru, embedding sustainability and automation into logistics infrastructure. Such projects reinforce India's reputation as an emerging global manufacturing and logistics hub. Vatsha, education, innovation, and human capital. India's long-term prosperity rests on nurturing its vast human capital. The implementation of the National Education Policy, NEP, 2020, now operational across many states, has modernized curricula with a focus on digital literacy, multilingual learning, and vocational skills. With one of the world's youngest populations, a median age of just over 28, India holds immense potential to harness demographic dividends. Innovation ecosystems tied to universities and technology parks, like those in Hyderabad, Pune, and Ahmedabad, are bridging academia and industry. India's global reputation as a source of STEM talent continues to rise, with its engineers and IT professionals leading transformative industries worldwide. Global economic and diplomatic influence. By 2030, India is expected to surpass Germany and become the third largest economy globally, behind only the US and China 14. This projection is built on a combination of domestic investment inflows, export diversification, and geopolitical leverage. As emerging markets struggle with stagflation, India's consistent growth and democratic stability render it an attractive investment destination. 14. India's global engagement also extends to climate leadership and space exploration. Its membership in multilateral groupings such as the International Solar Alliance, ISA, and G20 presidency legacy projects amplifies its voice on sustainability and development. The successful execution of missions like Chandrayaan-3 and Aditya L1 underline scientific advancement as a pillar of national pride and soft power projection. Diplomatically, India's One Earth, One Family, One Future approach promotes cooperation between the global North and South. The 2025 Global Peace Summit highlighted India's subtle but influential diplomatic posture, balancing great power politics with calls for inclusive development. 15. Challenges and the road ahead. Despite its remarkable ascent, India faces several obstacles that demand sustained focus. Geopolitical uncertainties, including border tensions with China and trade friction with Western economies. Environmental concerns, air pollution and climate challenges that threaten urban livability. Income inequality, rural-urban divides and youth unemployment remain hurdles to inclusive prosperity. Technological disruption, balancing automation and job security in the manufacturing sector. Policymakers are addressing these through green transition frameworks, rural skilling initiatives, and enhanced foreign partnerships. The roadmap emphasizes innovation-driven industrialization, social equity, and strategic diplomacy as cornerstones of future growth. Conclusion. India's growth in GDP, infrastructure, and human potential exemplifies the rise of a nation poised for global leadership. It continues to navigate geopolitical turbulence with strategic autonomy while deepening economic integration. Its urban transformation, digital revolution, and expanding middle class form the backbone of a resilient and aspirational society. In 2025, India stands not merely as a fast-growing economy, but as a civilizational power, harmonizing tradition and technology to chart an inclusive path toward prosperity. As the world grapples with uncertainty, India's day-by-day growth, rooted in reform, resilience, and renewal, illuminates a model of progress that blends economic dynamism with moral coherence.